Well, we're going to try the new cordless microphone out today. Just walking down King Street here towards the gas station. We have an tent with the gas station. Hope the car noise isn't too bad or anything. So I want to talk about inflation and causes. Most people think the cause of inflation is rising prices, but rising prices is a symptom. We're really bad in this society at dealing with symptoms instead of the real problem. So I'm going to talk about the gas station because, well, have a look at this. There it is. Let's try to get it in the scene here. There's the gas station sign there. I'll go with this side so I can get myself in half of it and the screen in half of it. So we're looking at $1.56.9 for regular and $2.12.9 for diesel right now. So why the high prices? Look, that's 60% inflation year on year, right? It was about $1 a liter a year ago. So now most people think that the cause of inflation is rising prices. And as I said, that's a symptom. So if that's a symptom, what's the cause? Well, first of all, it's always a monetary event in inflation. That's an expression that you'll hear if you look around out there. Inflation is always a monetary event. In other words, without money supply driving it, inflation can't happen. So money supply is primary. And we all know, if you've been paying attention and looking around out there, that the money supply has increased dramatically in the last couple of years. There's some pretty good stats out there. Go check them out if you haven't. So obviously that's one factor, and we're seeing it now from the rise in money supply. But there are other factors, and I mean, if money is one aspect of it, then obviously the things that we're buying that are inflating in price, if they become less available, there's more demand for them. Obviously, that supply and demand characteristic is going to kick in and drive the price up as well. So we've got a couple of those factors working against us right now, don't we? If you stop and think about it. I mean, were we producing more or less stuff for the last couple, 3 years? Obviously less, right? And so as we start to see things disappear off the shelves and start to find things we can't buy, we start to see prices rising. But it begins as a monetary event. Without the money supply, then you simply could not drive that price, because eventually, if there were no money to buy these things, then the market would discover that, and the prices would have to come down to a point where there was enough money available with people to begin buying again. So you can see how the dynamic works there. The other thing that drives is what they call money velocity. For those of you who don't know what money velocity is, it's basically if I give this guy at the gas station here $1, how long before that dollar ends up back in my paycheck? He spends it on different things, and it goes between different hands. So money velocity is how fast it changes hands. And that's usually affected, obviously, by the degree to which people really want to buy things, like how aggressive is buying sentiment at any given time. So, this is an interesting thing. Now that we're a little closer to the real true cause of inflation, we can look at these signs a little differently. And why is this important? Well, I feel it's important because if we're always blaming symptoms, we're never going to get down to the cause. And you have to fix the cause, or the problem's going to continue to exist. So, I really like to help inform people of things like this, because it's frustrating watching people debate about this. And I mean, honestly, a lot of people really think that rising prices are just because of greedy shop owners, and nothing could be further from the truth. We're all subject to this inflation bug, or whatever you want to call it, that's going on right now, because we all need the money and the capital. We're all subject to that, including governments. Governments are subject to it too. They're under the same yoke of having to operate on their finances and budgets and stuff. Now, of course, they can print money and do all those great things, but and they do so. But there are limits to what they can do in that realm as well. So it's really important that we understand that we're all kind of affected by this. Obviously, some of us worse than others, but inflation is a real problem, and it's only going to get worse. So take steps in your own life, folks, and try to mitigate it best you can, and hopefully it won't destroy all of us before this is all said and done. Anyway, that's my chat about inflation. And oh yeah, by the way, I wanted to coin a new phrase here. So now that you're out and around, pay attention to these. I call these tower signs. I'd like to come up with a term for them. So we'll take a vote in the comments of which term you like better: Inflate O Meter or inflatometer. I kind of think Inflate O Meter is going to win. Let me know. So it's either Inflate O Meter. I mean, that's these tower signs. It's the Inflate O Meter or inflatometer. Vote down below, folks. Let me know what you like better. Thanks for listening.